ideology I see disappearing from society today is social democracy. Now, I have no idea why social democracy isn't more popular, because it's essentially the best of both worlds, is it not? I mean, if you do it right, of course, but that's true of every ideology. It's only its definition if you get it right. That social democracy, by its definition, is the best of both worlds. It has that value of capitalism, of if you work hard, you'll be repaid, and it has the values of socialism, that there won't be people dying on the street and giant wealth inequality, and people working hard yet not getting proper payment for it. It's the best of both worlds. And yet it's become a punching bag from basically people on both the right and the left. The right attacks social democracy because they're saying, well, if we have this, then, the poor won't starve and we need to teach them a lesson, so that's no good. And the people on the left say, well, we won't all be living under the same amount of wealth, and that's no good at all. So what it's essentially become is a punching bag, to the point where everyone's just attacking it because it's neither not right-wing enough or not left-wing enough for them. But few people really understand what social democracy is. And firstly, no, it's not just socialism chosen by democratic means, whilst that is technically what it means if you strip the exact term down. But that's not really what it's used as, so that's a pointless sentiment. Nor is it what it meant back in Stalin's era, which is essentially just Marxism with this weird dress on it to give it a new angle. It's not that. I mean, a few people think it is, but I have seen a few. So it's neither of those two things. What it really is just saying, how about we have a system where if you work hard, you're repaid, but we don't have giant wealth inequality. Because isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what we strive for? Isn't that what we want? We work hard, then we get paid for that hard work, and we do not see our communities falling to pieces because of massive starvation and homelessness. And we certainly do not see ourselves or others, our friends, our neighbours, working hard, yet not getting paid enough for it. But apparently no. Apparently that's not what we want. Apparently we either want a system where you can work hard, yet not get paid properly, and if you just drop the ball for a few seconds, bam, you're living on the street and starving and having to pick things out of bins. Or we're all working for the same pay no matter how hard you work and you're living in the poorhouse. Well, probably. I suppose there have been socialist and communist governments where people have not been living in poverty, but, we only have to look at examples to see. Let's look at the actual attacks. The right wing attacks social democracy. Well, I'm not really sure what they attack us with. It's just a lot of the attacks I've got from right-wingers is essentially just Marxism! Communism coming! But, from the actual eloquent ones, the few I've actually got, well, they all are kind of that. So, let's move on to the left-wing ones. The left-wing attacks against social democracy are essentially just, well, look. You look at other social democratic countries, there's still homelessness, there's still poverty. There's still people living on the street. Okay. You can partly chalk that up to social democracy not being done right. I can think of many left-wing governments that, haven't exactly gone too well, shall we say, and the defence from the far leftists, the people on the far left, that is basically, they didn't just do it right. They didn't do it right. You didn't do it right. You took a wrong turn here. You added a bit too much of this in there. And then the whole thing just fell on its head. It was just doomed from the start. Yet the second any other ideology fails, aha! We can discredit the whole thing now. The whole thing's just gone because this one society did it kind of wrong. But I see what you're getting at. But that's the thing. Social democracy, by its definition, does not allow giant wealth inequality. It does not allow giant homelessness. And as much as I hate this kind of no true Scotsman fallacy, that is kind of true. If you're living in a social democratic country, and there is this giant wealth inequality and people working hard and not seeing the proper repercussions, it's not a social democratic country. That's like saying, look at our communist country, and this percentage of people earn more money than everyone else. And, and we have all these workers that are working for completely different pay for the same job. But we're still a communist country, everyone. Or, look at this fascist country. Look at this more right-wing country. We're all working for the same pay. And it's all this big pot that we're throwing everything into. And that's just how everyone lives. Everyone's equal in terms of pay in this country. You're just not doing it right by your definitions. That's just how it works. Because we do get blinded by things. We do get blinded by examples. And that's what we've done with social democracy. People often point at the Weimar Republic as a failed one. And people often look at the Scandinavian countries. They say, oh, you social democratic countries, you social democrats even, I don't know what the hell happened there, but you social democrats, you're always crowing about the Scandinavian countries, but look at their homelessness. Look at them living on the streets. Okay, two things. Firstly, I kind of agree with you. I do think we do crow about the Scandinavian countries a bit too much. Some of us do. So I completely agree. I don't really understand that. But secondly, we can recognize examples. We can recognize what countries did correctly. We can recognize they did this well, even if the whole thing wasn't perfect. So that argument just falls flat on its head. All these misconceptions about social democracy. I know it's a trope to say, you just don't understand us because you just have this misconception. But it's true. There are a lot of misconceptions. You boil social democracy down and that's what it is. It's taking the theory of capitalism of work hard, get pay, and you take the theory of socialism of we can't all just be living on the streets and starving to death. So that is essentially what social democracy is. And you can pull up an example of a country saying they're socially democratic, yet they're still homeless and things. But that's completely flawed. And I find it ironic the hypocrisy of so many people who attack social democracy, that I can make the same attacks against them, and they will be just as incorrect. Thank you for watching this short video. I just wanted to clear up what social democracy is, because it's just been annoying me. I can't even say I'm a social democrat now without someone crowing about one of these arguments. So, thank you for watching. Goodbye.